All right, f of 3. F of 3. I go to the f function at 3 and go down to what? -1. The g of 2, I go to the g function. G of 2 would be 0. Very good. G of 1. G of 1 is 1. Now I'm going to use that to find f of 1. F of 1 would be 3. Do y'all see that? Okay, g of -1. G of -1 would be 1. Now I'm going to find f of 1, which is 3. F of 3 is what? -1. G of -1, 1. Very good. And then f of 1 is 3. G of 3 is 1. That's what we talked about yesterday. So that quiz that you just took was on AROC, transformation, graphing piecewise. All that's on your test next week, and plus this continuity. And then what we're doing today and Monday, okay? That's what's on your test, okay? So if you have any trouble with what's on that quiz, you might need to consider me 0 up here, and let's get some help with it. All right, so yesterday we started talking about we looked at determining composition of functions from graphs, and now we're looking at it algebraically. So turn to page 65. We're going to do about 4 examples of that today. Page 64. 65, I mean, page 65.
I think it's good to take that on a piece of paper.
Yeah, that's why I went ahead and wrote it on notebook paper. If you don't have enough room, if you think you have enough room to write it on here, that's fine. I just did it on here so you could see it. And we're going to look at a certain few of them. We're not doing all of them.
Are you going to go with the one we were starting yesterday?
Yes, we're going to start with that in a minute. We're looking at number 1, okay? Number 1. Just these are the easy ones. These are the numbers. So let's look at number 1. How do I say this, guys? Everybody. F of G. Very good. F of G. What's another way it could be written? F parentheses G. So either way, if you see that, that is composition of function. Using one function to help evaluate the other, okay? So what is 5 closest to, guys? G. 5 is closest to G. So I'm going to take, and this, now watch how I write this, because I want to make sure you write it like this too. G of 5, I take 5 and I plug it into the G function. And I get 12. But is 12 my answer? No. Now I'm going to do F of what? 12. Very good. So my final answer is, that's what I box in. I love these. Now, when I was in algebra, I loved doing these. These were easy. And there's always one like this on the ACT. Please don't miss it. We're just doing these quick, easy ones. I got 36. Yep. Now, I'm going to slow down once we get through these easy ones. Like when we get to number 4, we're going to slow it down. But right now, these are review ones. -2 is close to which one? H. So I'm going to do H of -2. That wasn't quick enough. Just picking with you, Jackson. Did you solve your problem?
Yes.
-2 squared is 4. Now I'm going to take that 4 and plug into which one? G. Okay. How would I say this one? G of 1. 1 is closest to G. I'm going to plug it in first. I get 8. Now I got to plug it into G again. And I get 15. We're not going to do the final box right there, but if you got 3 of them, that means you're going to do it how many times? You just work from inside out, okay? So take a moment to take that in. Alright, does anybody else need to turn some quizzes in right now? Jack, just pass it up there, buddy. Pass it. Do I have all quizzes now? Alright. Now, for some reason, the next one's confused students. I'm going to go through it slowly, but just you got to follow my steps. There's a reason I put these steps into place, okay? So on number 4, we're not doing 3. 3 is easy. If you can do 4, you can do 3. Number 4 says find f of g of x and then g of f of x and state the domain. State the domain. Alright, so we're going to do f of g first. X is closest to which one? X is closest to g, okay? So I'm going to take x and I'm going to plug it into the g function. G of x
Mine has G of F. Number 4.
you're going to find f of g. The directions for 3 and 4 are right above that. It says find f of g and g of f. So we're doing f of g.
I'm trying to find where that is.
Right here. You see that, bud? Alright. Okay, so I'm going to write my g function down first. Negative 5x plus 6. I take x, I plug it in for x. Does it change it? No. Okay? I took x, I plugged in for x, it didn't change it. Now I'm going to take this, f of now I got to take this and plug it in for x. Does everybody see what I'm doing? Now this is where the algebra... Jackson Nolan. Now, right here, I'm going to... when I square negative 5x plus 6, do I need to FOIL that out? Yes. So I'm going to come up here and just FOIL out negative 5x plus 6. 25x squared minus 30x minus 30x plus 36. It gives me 25x squared minus 60x plus 36. So I'm going to take that and plug it back in for this part right here. Now I'm going to distribute. Minus 60x plus 36. I'm going to put that back into there. Now can I clean it up a little bit? Let's see here. I can't join anything with that negative 50x squared, but this 120 and this 25 will give me what? 145x. Negative 72 and negative 30 gives me negative 102, plus 1 will be a negative 101. Now, is that as far as I can go? Yes, that is my answer for f of g of x. Now, it says state the domain. What's the domain of that? What is it? Everybody should, all 33 of us. What's the domain of that? All our numbers, because we don't have a fraction, we don't have a radical, do we? Remember us? That does not leave us the whole year. So if you thought, oh, I don't have to worry about that, you got to be able to look at a thing and tell me what the domain is, okay? So that does not leave us. So you would put domain as all real numbers. So that's your answer, and that's the domain of it, okay? Now let's look at g of f of x. What is x closest to? L. So I'm going to do f of x equals negative 2x squared minus 5x plus 1. I take x, I plug it in for x. Does it change it? No. So now I'm going to take this part and plug it into g. So now I'm going to plug this in. Negative 5 times negative 2x squared minus 5x plus 1 plus 6. It's a whole lot better. We don't have to do any foiling on this one. So I took that, plugged into the g function. I get 10x squared plus 25x minus 5 plus 6. They're not all as long as this over here. So that's all I can do with that. So that is my final answer for g of f of x. And my domain would be all real numbers. Yes, sir. What did I do here? This negative 5 times negative 5 would be a positive 25.
Yeah, and then you might.
Okay. Mr. Mosley, you got a question? Good. Okay. Just be careful on the algebra. It's not hard, just your algebra part. Alright. Are there any questions on 1 and 4? Let's look at, we're going to do number 5, but let's look at what number 5 asks us. Remember, number 5 is telling us just to find f of g. Not every one of them going to tell you to find f of g and g of f. We just did both of them on that one. But here it just says find f of g of x. Okay, so I got it written right here. Find f of g of x. X is closest to which one? So I'm going to have g of x equals x squared plus 6. I take the x, I plug it in. Does it change it? No. So now I'm going to take this and plug it into what function? F. My f function is 2 over x minus 3. I plug this in for x. Can I combine this 6 and this negative 3? I'm going to go back through it, Jack. So right here, I have g, x is closest to g. So I write my g function down. I take x, I plug it in. It does not change it. So now I'm going to take that part and plug it in for f. F of x squared plus 6. Your f function is 2 over x minus 3. Well, I took what's inside this parentheses, I plugged in for x. X squared plus 6 minus 3. Then I combine my like terms and got x squared plus 3. And that's your final answer. Did the direction say state the domain there? No, you only do that when it says state the domain. Okay? Is this coming back from last year? Number 6 says find f of what? G. Okay, and here's our two functions, our f function and our g function. So I got it written down on this notebook paper. So x is closest to which one? G. So g of x. You said, Mr. Chester, g always going to be closer to x? No. You just got to look at which one is x close to g here in this case. So g of x, x plus 3. I take x and I plug it in for x. Does it change it? No. Now I'm going to take this part and plug it in for what? F. So I'm going to write f of square root of x plus 3 equals my f function is x squared minus 9. I know there's a lot of steps, but this keeps it flowing and makes sense to you. Now, whatever's inside that parentheses is what I plug in for that variable. So I'm going to plug in what for x right here? When I square square root, what happens to that? So I'm left with x plus 3 minus 9, which is x what? Minus 6. That's your answer. Take a moment to breathe and think. See if you have any questions so far. This is as hard as it gets. We got one more and then we're going to call it a day. And your homework is 7 problems deals with this. You didn't have homework last night, so you knew you weren't going to get it 2 nights in a row. Alright, number 8. Let's look at number 8. We're not going to do 7. We'll do 8. 8 says find f of x. F of x. I'm at this one right here, number 8. Last box right here. Alright, x is closest to which one? F. X is closest to f, so I'm going to put f of x equals 2x squared. I take x, I plug it in for x. Does it change it? No. Now I got to take that answer, do f of that, because I got to handle this other f. This is where some students get confused. So I took x, I plugged in. Now I got that answer, I got to plug it back into. You see where some people might get confused with that? That's right here. F of x equals 2x squared. I took x, I plugged it in. I got this. Now I'm taking care of this other f. I write the original f function down, take whatever inside that parentheses, and plug it in. Yes? Hold on.
Yeah, what about the square in the parentheses? You refer to x.
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right. Okay. All right, now, let's see how we're going to handle this situation. You got to do your exponents first. You got to square. What's 2 squared? And x squared to squared. How would that be? X to the what? 4th. So your answer is 8x to the 4th power. Are there any questions? You have 6 minutes to work on your homework and you get over half of them done. Because the first 4 are just the number ones. Okay? It's page 69. Okay, Jack, where are you having trouble at, bud?
Just the square. Just the square.
The square part right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to square the 2. 2 squared is 4. And then x squared to second, that's power to power. You multiply the exponents. 2 times 2 is 4. And then you say 2 times 4 is 8 and bring the x to the 4th down. Good? Okay. I want to get a picture of everybody dressed up in the safari outfits. Who's in the safari? All right, let's go outside. We're going to take a picture. Everybody else will be doing homework right now. It's game day. I always do pictures when people dress up. Come on. Is that how you dress up?
I'm wearing my lucky socks.
Come on, I got to have the mic. Come on.
I thought about it was mine are bright.
You get the banana box.
Nothing is comfortable. Like they feel gross and long.
Why are you wearing
Oh wait, I'm taking it. Okay. I was
Yes. If I ever did, I'm going to teach you how to shut it off. You come right here. And you see this square right here?